Hello, my fellow chatterers and book lovers, and anyone else who's popped in because you're curious about what this is, or you have got a bit lost. Welcome, everyone. I'm Chatty. This is my channel, Chatty the Mad Chatter, and I'm going to be chatting away madly about the Amari Along. We have got to September. We are ready to read book 3, which is the latest book in the Amari and the Bureau of Supernatural Investigations by B.B. Alston. I'm so excited to be doing this. But I'm also going to be opening this book Parcel, which may be relevant to the topic. And I'm also going to be talking about the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards for 2024. So we're going to be starting to talk about what possible books might be coming up, and also reading the books that made it into the top 5 for the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards for 2023. So that's what I'm going to be covering in this video. It is very middle grade heavy. So if that's not really your thing, you might want to toddle off and watch a different video. If you love middle grade, then stick around because we have plenty of middle grade content coming up. On my channel, I do not edit my videos. I just do one long continuous take, unless I'm doing a short video in which I do edit, but it takes me a really long time. So I quite like this, just chatting to the camera and seeing what chaos occurs. So cheers, everyone. Clink, 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 clink. So, welcome. If you are new to the channel, I'm going to be talking a lot about middle grade. Hopefully you will stick around. If you enjoy the content, do give it a little like and subscribe if you like the vibe. To everyone else who's been here before, welcome back. I'm so pleased you could join me in the excitement I have for middle grade books, and in particular at the moment, Amari. So, the Amari Along. I have been rereading the first 2 books, which is Amari and the Night Brothers and Amari and the Great Game, and been chatting with a few people in Discord as well. I've had a lot of fun rereading those books. Haven't spoken about them yet because I haven't done my July or August wrap-ups, so they've not been covered. But I've definitely had a great time rereading, and I'm so excited to be getting to the 3rd book. So because the 3rd book is the new one out, it's the one we have all been waiting for, I thought it'd be fun to do a live show, maybe like live showy, sprinty type of thing to kind of kick off the month, being excited about the 3rd book, and then sort of at the end of the book kind of chatting about what we all thought about it. But before I go into the detail about that, I have some very exciting news that I was not aware of, that you may all be aware of, I don't know. But the lovely Tiffany from Towering TBR put in the Discord chat about the Amari Along. There was a comment from BB Alston. I'm not sure where she got it from. I don't know if it was on like Goodreads. I couldn't quite work out from the clip she gave, but it's definitely from BB Alston. And he said, just to clarify any confusion, Amari and the Despicable Wonders is not the final book. Originally, it was going to be a trilogy, but it has since moved on. He is currently writing book 4, and there will be a book 5. And I am thrilled by this, because when I heard this was going to be the final one, I was genuinely quite gutted, because as much as I'm intrigued to see how it ends, I'm like, but I'm not ready to leave. I was definitely hoping for 5 to 7 books. So the fact that we're not leaving this world, we are at the middle point instead, has thrilled me so much. I am so excited and happy. So let me go on to talking about the details of Amari Along sprinty stuff. So my plan is on Wednesday the 4th of September, I will be doing some sprints at 8 p.m. So if you're ready to start your book, then you can join in and do some sprinting. I'm not going to be giving away any spoilers as I read. I'm just going to be talking about my excitement and hopefully chatting with a few of you as well about your excitement. So that's the plan with that one. And then we'll do some sprints, and you can choose to read Amari if you want to, or you can choose to read something completely different. I just wanted to do another live and sort of like get chatty with people in the comments at the same time. And then on Friday the 27th of September, again at 8 p.m, I will be doing sort of a chat about book 3. So that one, we'll start off with no spoilers and just people's general thoughts about it, and then move on to talking spoilers. So please join me in that. At the moment, my technology is not great. I cannot invite other people in to a live chat. So if you want to join me and do something for that, then please do get in touch, and we'll see if we can do it off someone else's channel. But I can't do it off my one. So it will be just me, and there will be you can just talk to me in the comments, and I will read out all the comments as we go, because I have a very, very old laptop that cannot cope with anything beyond that, unfortunately. So I've had sort of like a quick sort of look through. 8 o'clock by UK time means Central European Standard Time, it will be 9 o'clock. Arabic Standard Time, it will be 11 o'clock in the evening. Pacific Standard Time, it will be noon. So, you know, midday lunchtime sprints and chats. Eastern Standard Time, it will be 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 2 p.m. Western Australian Standard Time, it'll be 4 in the morning on Thursday, so we might not get anyone live with us from down there. Central Australian Standard Time, it'll be 5:30 in the morning, and Eastern Australian Standard Time will be 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you're an early morning riser and you're in Eastern Australian Standard Time zone, then maybe you can join us as you wake up early at 6 o'clock. But yeah, so those are roughly the kind of the times that this is going to be taking place, and I'm very excited. So I look forward to seeing you all there if you can make it. If not, hopefully you will enjoy watching the rerun and what everyone is thinking about with this book. So let's open this parcel. Let's open the parcel here. So I am pretty sure that this is my copy of Amari. If it's something different, then we will all be surprised together. But I thought it would be fun. I managed to restrain from opening it by myself, and I thought I'd wait and open it here because I wanted to talk all things Amari. So excited. Oh, I'm so excited. I do think the artwork on the books is generally so beautiful. Here it comes. Dun, 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 dun. Here she is. Here is Amari. We have, so on the English cover, we have sparkly foil Amari written at the top and the Despicable Wonders, and then we have the beautiful graphics of Amari right in the middle. She's got her hand held out in front of her with sort of like green magician-y magic sort of swirling off it, and then that goes into the background as well, and we've got another few sort of sparkles around her. So we have Amari, and then we have to her right, we have got Ellie. She's called Ellie, isn't she? I apologise if I'm completely misnaming her. Do they mention? Do they mention? Just to mention friends? No, it's not. It's not saying anything. Anyway, I do believe it's Ellie. And then I have read these. I have recently read them. Anyway, we've got Jaden in a basketball shirt, and we also have blonde girl, sister of Dylan, Lara. We have Lara. There we go. So we've got kind of like 4 of our main characters here, and on the spine we have got another picture of Amari at the bottom with the swirly green. I love that because I love seeing them on my shelves, and we get these little pictures of Amari. And at the back we have this magnifying glass, which is very exciting. And on the pages inside we've got yellow end pages, and we have got this magnifying glass again that is glowing. So I don't know what that is. I'm sure we will find out. And the naked hardcover is green. So we've had midnight blue, we've had purple, and now we have green. And again, we've got this sort of like sparkly foiling around it as well. It doesn't go onto the back. I can't remember if it went onto the back with the other ones. And my other ones did have sprayed edges, and this one doesn't have sprayed edges, but there we go. I'm still very excited to grab Amari. It seems to be like a similar length to the other ones. I think it's sort of between 300 to 400 pages. It is 388 pages. So yes, it's very similar size to the other ones. And I have her in my hands. I have the 3rd book in my hands finally, and I'm so hyped and excited. Yay! Look how pretty she is. So I do love the Brittany Jackson character art on here. I just think she has she manages to make her characters kind of look, there's a softness about them which just kind of like shows a kindness, but also there's such a determination sort of in their facial expressions as well. I think the US character art just seems a slightly bit harsher than the UK one, but that is all down to just personal preference. But yeah, there she is. So excited. So yes, please join me on Wednesday the 3rd of September. I did write the date down. I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd, but I'm just going to double check. It's the 4th. So yeah, ignore thirds. Wednesday the 4th of September, please join me to do some Amari sprinting. I'm now going to move on to be talking about the Middlegrade Choice Awards. So, Middlegrade Choice Awards are, it's my version of the Goodreads Choice Awards, because last year they axed the middle grade category, which isn't a genre, it's an age range. So they just basically said, we're just not going to talk about this age range at all and show any recognition of it, and encourage there to be discussions about these books, or have an opportunity for people that might want pointers of possible books that there could be. I know Goodreads is basically like a popularity contest. It is based on votes of what people think, and you don't have to have read the book. Like, you can just vote. Like, there's no criteria saying you've got to have read the books. There's nothing, you can just vote on whatever you like. So I know, like, there's a certain, like, you take it with a pinch of salt, but it still promotes discussion. It still puts books forward that you hadn't really thought about before. So I felt really sad last year when there was no middle grade one. So I decided to make my own. It's not perfect, but it's something is better than nothing. So I focus on the 9 to 12 age range. In the Goodreads one, they also included picture books in that. I really want to just focus in on something. If you're really sad there's no one for picture books, please go and do a picture book one. That would be amazing. I also don't include graphic novels and comics because I just find that format very different to novels, and I find it hard to kind of compare the two. I think there absolutely should be a separate category for the comics and graphic novels as well. But again, I'm just going to do the bit that I can do, and the bit that I love the most. I love 9 to 12 middle grade novels. That is my one of my favourite age ranges to read. I just find them really comforting. So that is the bit that I am focusing on. And they have to have been published somewhere between November 2023 and October 2024. So from the 1st of November 23 to the 31st of October 2024 to be able to qualify for this. There's no prize. This is just me having a chat. I'm just promoting books and us having a bit of a fun time sort of voting and talking about things and just being aware of more amazing middle grade books. Another thing, because it is all in the feel of the Goodreads Awards, you do not have to have read the books. We vote on what we think is the most interesting. Which books are we most hyped for? What are we the most excited for that has been published this year? That is what this is. It's not which is the best book, because there's no way you can have read all the books to be able to give kind of an opinion about that. You might have done. You might be a very prolific reader. I definitely can't. I tried to read a lot more this year and I think I've read 2. So yeah, it's very much about what you think is going to be the best one. So what I do is I look on Goodreads. There are some lists. It's not foolproof because, sorry, we're wiggling around because my legs are going to sleep. It's not foolproof. I have some list about middle grade books that I found on Goodreads. It doesn't always include everything, but it's kind of like a starting point for me. I then go, and if there's books I notice I've heard of that I haven't kind of come up on there, then I will then go and seek those out, or I'll seek out other titles. But basically the criteria I'm looking for at the moment is that they have to have 500 people rating the book. Which actually, from having done a little bit of more of a look earlier today, I may change that and drop it down a bit to 300, because there's not that many middle grade books being rated. There are some, but not that many. I'm sure there was a lot more last year that I was able to kind of pull together. We'll see. We haven't hit the end of October yet, so I will. I'm going to keep looking. Yeah, so it has to be. So at the moment, it's over 500 plus people rating the books. So that's star ratings. It doesn't need to be reviews. And I'm also looking at the books being sort of 4-star or more overall. Again, subjective, I might take it down to 3.5, we will see. And then from that I will compile I did have a word for it, what have I written in my notes? Where have I put it? Oh, the consideration long list. So as well as looking at Goodreads, I will also be looking at Storygraph as well. Again, looking at how many people rated them and what the star rating is on Storygraph, the average star rating. I'll put them into an Excel spreadsheet, and I will be looking at them in terms of genres because I want to make sure we have a spread. Last year it was mainly fantasy and contemporary books. So I kind of went through the contemporary and I went through the fantasy, and because I had too many for a list of 20. And I then took out the ones that kind of scored the least in both those for kind of averaging out a point system based on how many people rated them and what the star rating was over both Storygraph and Goodreads. So the genres that I want to be looking at are horror and spooky books, mystery and thriller books, sci-fi and dystopia books, contemporary books, fantasy books, and historical fiction books. So I want to make sure there's at least one book in those genres represented in the long list for consideration. What I will then be doing is I will be putting that up for you all, and I want to cut 5 books from it and replace those 5 with 5 hidden gems. So books that not a load of people are necessarily hyped about, but you guys that engage with me are really excited for. So we're going to be, and also I want you to vote on the books that you are most excited about from the long list for consideration. And you'll be able to do this by chatting in my Discord. I will have a thread up about the sorry, I've just taken a drink of water and I can't stop burping to apologise. Okay, I think I'm good now. I've put up I've got a thread all about the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards, and there will be like a space for you to vote on your favourite ones for the considered long list, and there will be a space for you to put forward some suggestions to be a hidden gem taking the final 5 spots on the final long list. So there'll be some Discord spaces for you to do that. I will be putting up a community tab with a graphic of all of the long list for consideration that you can comment on. I'll do a video introducing it that you can comment on, and you can also, if you prefer to use email, you could always email me at chatty@outlook.com. So that's chatty, CHATTIE, capital TMC @outlook.com. So then on Discord, when we've got all of the nominations for hidden gems, we will be voting for the top 3 that we want to make it onto the long list, and then I will make the official long list, which will consist of the 5 hidden gems and the 15 most hyped booked from the original long list for consideration. And then we're going to cut it to 10 for a short list, and then finally we will pick our winner. So that's all going to be going on during November, sort of coinciding with the Goodreads Choice Awards. So books that I am excited about that could be put up for consideration are obviously Amari and the Despicable Wonders. I do think this one will probably make it onto the consideration long list rather than being a hidden gem, because it is a popular series. It's a book that is 3rd. We have already sort of come to know and love Amari, so I do feel that this should be quite a popular one that will definitely get on there. So I'm excited about that one. I'm hoping soon to finally read Ember Spark and the Thunder Dragons by Abby Elphinstone. This is a book I'm really excited about because I just love Abby Elphinstone's writing. And we've got dragon characters here. Who doesn't love a dragon? I just feel it's going to be a really fun fantasy middle grade to be reading. But I don't think that might have to come on as a hidden gem, because at the moment there's not a lot of ratings for it. I then have a book by Benjamin Dean, and this one I have actually read. This is The Boy Who Fell from the Sky. It is sci-fi. It's got friendship involved. You kind of got a sort of a first contact sort of aspect of it. It was a really, really fun middle grade with a few sort of emotional scenes in there as well. Again, I have enjoyed books from Benjamin Dean before, so I was really keen to pick this one up. So I'll be interested to see if this one makes it on there. Another one I have read, and I adore this one, and this is Keedy by Elle McNichol. Now this one I think again will make it on to the long list for consideration without being a hidden gem, because I feel this has already got quite a lot of hype around it. A kind of spark, and Elle McNichol's books generally, there is kind of a lot of buzz about them, so I feel quite hopeful that this will make it on there. And this was an amazing book. I was really hyped about it coming out. I read it pretty quickly. I read it with Tiffany and we had a great time with it, and it's one of my favourite books. A book I haven't read that I have been hyped about for a long time, but it's because I'm a seasonal reader and I need to read it at the right time, and that is The Snow Girl by Sophie Anderson. So this did come out in December, and I didn't get to own it until February, I think. And by that point I was like, just wasn't quite in the right mood. I want to be in the right mood to do it justice. So I feel this is going to be one that I will be reading over the winter. So not in time to be voting on it, but I can still vote on it anyway because I am very hyped about this book. I love Sophie Anderson's writing. She's got this wonderful kind of like folklore storytelling that she does, and she just writes so well. There's always like an emotional kind of content in there, as well as really fun adventures, and she does tend to weave in kind of legends and stories into the present day kind of prose that she writes as well. And this copy is beautiful. It's the first Sophie Anderson we've had that is a hardback. It's printed onto the naked hardback. There is no dust jacket, but we've got some silver foiling. The Snow Girl takes central sort of central focus of the book, and the title is written in her skirt, and we have trees and animals kind of coming out from around it, and lots of kind of stars and snow foiling around the outside. It just looks beautiful, and it has got illustrations throughout it as well. We've got a little picture of a fox dashing through the snow here, and we've got moons, mountains, owls, and kind of snowy flowiness around the title chapters. Who did the artwork for this one? It doesn't say on the back. Oh, illustrated by Melissa Castrillion. Beautiful art there from Melissa. Okay, so I started in April having a look at some of the books I thought might be starting to show signs of making it onto the long list. And I do think that Coyote Lost and Found by Dan Geminhart, which is a follow-up to Coyote Sunrise, is going to be a contender for this. There already seems to be quite a lot of ratings for this book, and again it's a follow-up to another popular book, so there's already kind of a bit of an appeal to it that way. There is a sort of time travel sci-fi called The First State of Being by Erin Entrada Kelly that seems to have got quite a bit of buzz as well. That story looks really interesting, so I feel that one is possibly going to make it on there. We have a historical fiction called The Night War by Kimberly Breaker Bradley. This is set in 1942 in France, so it is a Second World War historical fiction. She has written a few other books that have been very well received, and I think she's won an award for The War That Saved My Life. So again, very interested in that one, and it does seem to kind of have quite a lot of ratings so far. We then have sort of a spookier one called Not Quite a Ghost by Anne Ursa, and I've also put a debut in here as well that I'm quite keen on and excited about, so we'll see if this one makes it, and that is called Paper Dragons: The Fight for the Hidden Realm by Siobhan McDermott, and this it's a debut book, and it is a fantasy inspired by Chinese folklore. So that's just a few that could make it onto the list. I will be continuing to kind of look more thoroughly throughout September and October and starting to compile some data, and then we'll be creating the long list for your consideration. So do look out for all of that stuff. If you're interested in last year's books, before I go and spoil them for you, you can follow. I'll put the link here. There is a playlist all about the Middlegrade Choice Awards, so you can look from the announcement to the final long list to the short list to who is the winner. If you want to follow on that journey, then please go and click those. Don't watch the end of the video and I will say goodbye to you here. Now, I haven't written everything down because I've written some stuff over here, if I can find them. Okay, so I'm also wanting to look at the top 5 books from 2023. So we had a joint 4th place last year. So that was The Witchstone Ghost and Hammer and the Memory of the Jungle. I've got Hammer and the Jungle Memory. I can't quite remember. I should have written it down properly, but it will be in the description box, so you can have a look in there. I don't have a copy of those either. Hammer is not actually released in the UK yet. She is being released now, so I'm hoping my pre-order comes in during September, because I have pre-ordered it because I'm really interested in that one. And The Witchstone Ghost, I have put in a request from my library to borrow, so I'm hoping to read those. I'll be reading The Witchstone Ghost in September is my plan, and October for Hammer. So you can join in with those as well. The ones I'm going to be speaking the most about, though, are the top 3 books from 2023. So in 3rd place, by Parry Thompson, which is a debut author, we have a portal fantasy all around nature called Green Wild. This is actually an ARC that I was kind enough to be given by the Book Nook. They said, are you interested in any ARCs? And I said, yes, please. So they gave me some old ARCs that they had. So I have this, and my children actually chose the hardback copy of this book, actually fully published copy, to give to my mum for her birthday. So she's got the full-on hardback, and it is beautiful. So the ARC, I was going to call it a proof, that's not proof. The ARC has got sort of greeny dark blue colours on the cover, and we've got this shadowy figure that is our protagonist. On the actual cover, she is fully in colour. Right, let's take a breath here. My words are getting jumbled. I'm going to have a drink. Right, let's try that again. The main character is in colour on the hardback, fully printed, published copy. But we have this gold foil door behind her, and it says, introducing Parry Thomas, the magical new voice in children's fiction. And it's illustrated by Eliza Panganelli. It says, prepare to enter Green Wild, the world behind the door. And then on the inside flap, we do have a map. Now this, I think, in the hardback is the end page, and it is like fully, slashed my chin with my nail. That was really silly. It's a double page spread. But we have a lake, we have a potting shed, the interpret house, the heart oak, the great glass house. So there's lots of kind of greenhousey type castles and tree houses from what I can make out here on the map. On the back, it says, step into the adventure of a lifetime. Oh, and ARCs are also called proofs. It says, uncorrected bound proof not for sale. So there we go. So I'm going to be reading the proof copy. Don't know how much it's going to differ from the fully published one. But yeah, I'm really excited. Oh, it's nice and floppy. I am really excited to be finally reading Green Wild. I know Vidania from Vidania Silver Scribe loved the book and said it was amazing. And actually, there is a sequel. I can't remember the name of it, but there is a sequel out now. So that could be nominated for the 2024 Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards. You never know. But I am going to be reading this one in September as well. So I might be talking about it kind of alongside the sprints. We'll see how it all goes. But yes, I'm excited to be reading our the third place book. In second place, we have another fantasy. And this one, it is by an author who has written quite a few other books. This book was very kind of highly marketed by Waterstones. It had a lot of people raving about it. I did nearly buy it for myself because I was very intrigued. It was very pretty, but then I was telling myself I needed to be good. But then my mother-in-law ended up giving me it for Christmas, and it is Impossible Creatures by Catherine Rundell. It's a Waterstones Book of the Year. You've got lots of different people praising this book. On the front cover, we have got this huge red dragon, and Impossible Creatures written in gold falling across the body of the dragon, and underneath its wings are two children right in the centre, back to back on a sort of a mountain crag hilltop, and there's some gold kind of starriness going on and sort of like a deep kind of bluey sky. On the back we have the dragon's tail and part of its wing, and we have a ship with 3 sails and some other kind of, they look like part horse, part fish snakes. And then we have a few, and we have the beautiful sprayed edges of this teal blue on the top and bottom, and then down the edges we have got, they look like phoenix birds sort of getting smaller and smaller, and we've got different shades of blue as well. It's really beautiful. The, what do you call them? End pages are gold, sort of this goldy yellow colour, like parchmenty, and then we've got this beautiful sort of like scroll book plate surrounded by all sorts of different creatures saying this book belongs to. It's a red naked hardback, and the book is written in gold, the title and the author written in gold down the outside, and there's a pumpkin at the top, a gold foil pumpkin, so it's very pretty. And then on the back end pages, oh, we have a map on the back end pages, I'd forgotten. So we have this lovely map of various different isles. So it is somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean. So we've got an arrow to Brazil, an arrow to Nova Scotia and Canada, an arrow to Greenland, and an arrow to France at 4 corners. And then we've got this collection of islands in the middle, with all sorts of different names all over them. So it's kind of like an archipelago in there. So yes, very intrigued by this one. I'm really going to enjoy reading it. So I'm going to be reading this one in October, as well as Hammer, but I'm going to be kind of focusing more on this one and talking more about this one. I might do another kind of live sprints and discussions should you want to join me with this as well. And finally, in November, we have the book that won the Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards. So as voted by all of you who took part in it, the book you are most hyped for from 2023 is The Lost Library by Rebecca Stead. So this is sort of magical realism. So it's partly set in our world, but has kind of fantastic elements. There is a ginger cat that's sort of a librarian. There's some sort of ghosty figures. It sounded really, really exciting. And I think as well it's a bit of a sort of love letter to one of those love letters to book lovers. So I think there's a lot of kind of bookish love in there. The importance of books sort of talked about in that one. So I'm very excited to read that. I do not have my hands on a copy at the moment. I'm still going to be looking into that. I don't know if I'm going to be buying or if I will be able to borrow it from somewhere. At the moment, it seems like it is readily available in America, but I haven't been able to get hold of it in the UK. But that is everything I wanted to talk to you about today. So we've covered Amari, we've covered Middlegrade Readers Choice Awards. I'm excited to be reading the books that got really high last year, and I'm excited to be looking forward to this year and thinking about which ones are going to be on it. Most importantly, it's time for Amari book 3, and it's not the final one in a trilogy, it's the middle book in a quintet, which is thrilling. Please get chatting in the comments and let me know, what books are you so excited for? Are you excited for Amari? Have you read her before? Are you starting to read Amari? Are you rereading? Please let me know. Which books have you been reading in 2024? Have you been been reading some debuts? Have you been reading some new published books? Or have you just been going through backlists and just enjoying some other stuff? I would love to hear from you. Will you be joining me for any of the books that were voted on last year? And will you be getting involved in the votes for this year? Happy reading, everyone.